Kaiju number 8, episode 10, titled Secret Revealed. So the Hanju finished his transformation, and he is massive. He is far too big for the vice captain to handle on his own. Hoshina is unable to cut all the way through him, and at this point, it's clear to even him that he can no longer defeat this kaiju. So his only option is to rely on his speed and try to outpace the kaiju. The only problem with that though, is he's been at max output for 10 minutes and has exceeded his suit's operational limits. And if he keeps pushing the way he is for like another 60 seconds, the suit will release his max output on its own. The Hanju is making the Yoju blow themselves up to kill him. They're getting as close as possible to Hoshina and then blowing up. So they're like Yoju missiles. He uses the explosions as a smoke screen to sneak into a building where he's able to attack the Hanju from behind. But in this giant form, it seems the Hanju has more abilities. Multiple eyes appear on his back and they're all staring at Hoshina. He swats him out of the sky, and if Hoshina's shield wasn't at max output, he would have surely died from that one hit. Then it happened. His suit overheated, released his maxed output, and told him to go get medical treatment immediately. 200 years ago, Hoshina would have been considered a genius because he is so good with a blade, but the era of blades has passed. As a kid, his dad told him to give up on becoming a defense force officer. After joining the defense force, he was told over and over how giant kaiju appearances are becoming more and more common each year, and since his unleashed combat power with a gun is low, if he keeps just going into battle with blades, he's gonna get himself killed eventually. Everyone doubted him and advised him to give up. Everyone except Mina Ashido. He was the exact kind of officer she was looking for. She knew the importance of having someone on her team that specialized in defeating small but powerful foes. Even though giant Hanju were becoming more common, you can't just forget about the smaller ones. They still need to be taken care of. She asked Hoshina to join her squad, defeat the smaller kaiju, and to clear a path for her when she needed to use her long-range rifle. Because of her belief in him and trusting him to defend the Tachikawa base when she's away, he planned on protecting that base and every single officer on it to his very last breath if that's what it took. The Hanju finally grabbed him and began to slowly squeeze the life out of Hoshina. Kafka wasn't about to let one of the only people that gave him a try and believed in him die, so he began to transform. Ichikawa pleaded for him not to, but he didn't have a choice. When he began his transformation, he heard Captain Ashido's voice come through his headphones. She finally made it back to the base, thanked everyone for doing a good job, and shot the Hanju, forcing him to release Hoshina. Her rifle is so strong, it easily shot the Hanju's arm off, but each one of her shots pushes her back and would have knocked her down, so her tiger stands behind her, acting as a wall to keep her from falling over. Okanogi located the kaiju's core. It was in his back, right around the 4th to 6th thoracic vertebrae. Hoshina backed Captain Ashido up. Even though he was way past his limit, he still unleashed 63% of his combat power and did everything he could to limit the Hanju's mobility, making him as easy of a target as possible. Unfortunately, at 63%, his output was too low to keep up with how fast the kaiju was regenerating. And then Kikoro shot right past him and tried to chop the kaiju's leg clean off, but she isn't strong enough just yet to pierce its very dense armor. So her and Hoshina worked together. He sliced up one of his legs, breaking up the armor for her, and she hit that wound with everything she had before it got the chance to regenerate. They successfully brought the Hanju to one knee, making it a very easy target for Mina. She shot it again, exposing its core, but the Yoju was doing everything in their power to make sure their leader didn't get taken out. But the rest of the 3rd Division made it to them and backed up Mina. They would shoot any Yoju out of the sky that tried to get near their captain. The vice captain kept the Hanju distracted. Mina thanked him and told him she was right when she made the decision to make him her vice captain. She unleashed 96% of her combat power, and with her last round, she completely destroyed the Hanju's core. The officers cheered and celebrated. It was finally over. I mean, there were still Yoju left, but they were easy enough for the rookies and lower ranked officers to deal with. Kafka was overcome with emotions because he was part of such a cool division in the defense force. All the remaining Yoju came together in the sky. The Hanju's last scream wasn't a death rattle, it was telling all the Yoju to come together and create a massive Yoju bomb. The blast estimated impact was equal to 20 kilotons of TNT. Basically, it would be as strong as a nuclear bomb. The officers couldn't evacuate if they tried. They would get caught in the blast no matter how fast they ran away. So Kafka was left with no choice. To save the day, he had to transform in front of everyone into Kaiju number 8. And just like that, that fortitude level of 9.8 was back on the battlefield. Hoshina always knew something was off with him, but he liked Kafka so much, he turned a blind eye to the possibility that Kafka could be a kaiju, even though all the proof was right there in front of his face. It seems like every time Kafka transforms, he understands his kaiju body a little bit more and is able to utilize more of its abilities. He formed jetpacks on his legs and used them to shoot him right into the Yoju bomb. He pushed it very high in the sky, so far away away from everyone that when it exploded, it didn't kill a single person. Mina then pointed her gun at him and told him she was taking him into custody. You could tell she really didn't want to do it, but protocol is protocol. I just find it crazy that if it wasn't for him, they would have all been dead. I hope they all remember that when they put him on trial. Like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.